Alrighty. All right. We're going to kick it off today with a live stream. We're going to do our usual video today, except we will be doing it live. I hope you guys enjoy. All right. What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's go over some TA. All right, guys, so we did end up continuing that bounce today. Yes, live. Yes, we're doing it live. We will do this one live. All right, guys, so we continued that bounce today. We did not have the worst look on the 4-hour chart yesterday, and today we did pop right up here. Now, we did point out yesterday we had to recover these 9 moving averages, okay? So we wanted to get above the daily 9 over here. We need to get above yesterday's high, and we're going to be above there. There's actually where the 0.618 fib is here from this whole, decline down here. I am thinking we are going to be continuing higher. And before we go any further, did anybody catch this move over here with weeklies? Anybody have any crazy lotto story over here? Because this is absolutely insane, all right? And I'm just going to say, I think Tesla's going in 270 tomorrow. I do think this thing is on its way to 300 as we speak. Today was quite something, and I don't think it's going to pull back. I think it's just gonna I think it's probably just gonna keep going. All right, so that's something to take note of there. But as far as how the indices look, guys, these things don't look too bad. The weekly charts so far, I'm not gonna say they're the most bullish things. We're not gonna say the most bearish things. But at the end of the day, if you pull back, you're probably going to still get bought up, especially over here on QQQ. Guys, we still have this whole area right below that, we were watching going into this week. We're looking for the decline to start the week. And then we were saying we were probably going to, get a bounce at the second part of the week. I reminded us in yesterday's video that that's what we were looking for in the weekly update. So, even though things looked very bearish, that, definitely was originally what we were going to be paying attention to. We did end up getting bought up right down at the 0.618 fib yesterday, right at that weekly 9. This doesn't look terrible at all. On SPY, we said if you were going to break down underneath this uptrend, it was right there. This was your last chance, bulls. If you broke under there, you're probably going to have a straight shot over here. But guess where buyers stepped in? They stepped in right where they needed to. This is just a classic break and retest. And, it's not looking all too bad. It's just not. All right, so let's just go over some support and resistance here on the upside. Tomorrow, we're going to be paying attention to 580.38, 581.71. If you get above 581.71, I personally think we're just going to start running it back up. But above there, you have 583.70. Get above 583.70, we're probably just taking out this high up there at 586.12. Support is going to be 578.54. Then we have the low of today's candlestick at 576.57, and then 574.71, which is where buyers stepped in right underneath yesterday. And then you have 0.618 fib right below. But again, really not the worst look here. Just break and retest off of this previous area of resistance here. All right, and now you flipped it in support. Not the worst look. Barely tapped. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought we were gonna head a little lower before getting that bounce. I thought we'd probably get into this lower area over there. We did not. We did not. And QQQ honestly really is not looking too bad over here. Things were definitely setting up today. I'm actually just gonna point out SPY over here. You had me in the first half over there. You had this little, bull flag kind of look to you, consolidating right here, and boom, they sold you right down, and they brought you right back up for the end of the day. And now you're back to, really not looking all that bad. Guys, they're full of tricks. They're full of tricks recently. That is what this market is. All right. So over here on support for QQ, we have 491.19. All right. That was low from over here. We're going to have 488.41 underneath there. And then underneath there, you're just going to be paying attention to where buyers stepped in yesterday at the 0.618 fib, 485.60. And then you have 483.88 right under there. Resistance 493.30, 496.49, 498.83. And I'm just going to say, get above 496.49. You're probably just going to, start pushing up here. Why do I think that? All right. As you can see, that would be your 0.786 fib. Get above here. you're probably going to get 100% retracement, probably push this level. And at that point, it looks like you are going to be doing something like this. Now, I also will remind everyone, guys, big tech earnings next week. You know, that is something that QQQ doesn't look all that bad heading into. We're kind of just stair-stepping our way. Guys, things do not go straight up. I still do think we are, you know, conditioned right now. This chart has been, you know, getting ready for a move to all-time highs. Okay. So, you know, I think next week is probably going to be a week that happens. I'm just going to, you know, throw it out there. If it's going to happen, that's going to be the week. We're definitely getting big moves. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. We're going to know next week. You know, if big tech earnings end up, you know, tanking the market, we're not going to make it up here. You're going to start coming back down there for a bigger pullback. Or, you know, we could do what I think these charts are really set up to do, and we could start pushing up higher. All right, so that would be that. So IWM, guys, you are over here on the weekly time frame. Not looking so bad. Right here on that weekly 9 still. You found buyers at the 0.786 fibs, so that is going to be your line in the sand. Use yesterday's low as support, 217.37. That is your line in the sand. Break under there, you're probably having 100% retracement coming back down there towards 215. Right over there, 215.08. All right, so you got 219.72 and then 217.37 on the downside. On the upside as resistance, you're going to have 2 days high, 219.98. All right. Or not today's high. You got 219.98 right here and then 221.04 right there. And then if you can get above there, which I'm just going to say, you're going to have the daily 9. So you probably do get seller step in there. But, you know, if you can get a daily close, correction, like daily close over this blue line right there, the daily 9, correction is probably going to be over. So we want to get above today's high at 221.04. And then we have 222.60 and then 224.94. Yeah, not looking so bad. DIA still finding buyers here for the second day in a row off of the retest of this previous range. All right. What, you know, really is that? You got that kind of look to you. You got that. All right. So, you know, you spent some time in here. You actually spent more time in the range than outside the range at this point. So that was 3 weeks in the range. Now you had 2 weeks outside the range. We typically see these things, you know, you're going to have an equivalent kind of move. I understand, you know, dollar for dollar, you already had that, but, you know, time-wise, I don't think it makes too much sense. Weekly chart, I think it's probable that we find buyers right around here. That is something to take note of. But I think, you know, the biggest factor we should be paying attention to into next week is going to be big tech earnings. So let's go over that right after we go over VIX here, all right? So you do have your 4th upper wick in a row here. It's not looking like VIX wants to make a move upward. I'm thinking you want to, you know, move downward here. You know, considering I'm bullish personally on the big tech earnings next week. So I do think VIX is going to be moving down. But, you know, it keeps having its chance to spike and it's not spiking. That's something to take note of. There you go. All right. As far as these guys go, we're going to start off with Tesla, guys. All right. So above 264.86. I do think you were just going to head up to this high that we were paying attention to. I thought you were going to hit it over here after this little pullback. You did not have a little pullback. You had a big one. And then, boom, they ran it back up all in one day. Probably hitting 271 over here. Probably tomorrow. All right. So that is what I'm going to be paying attention to on the upside over here in Tesla. I was trapped. I got out. And then I sold off open. And then you look. And the contracts are double by the end of the day. And I'm like, damn. Look at that. Dude, Tesla went freaking insane today. I don't know what else to say about it. Straight up, I thought this thing was going to get back a little of its gains at open. It did not. It went absolutely straight up all day. It went vertical right over here. And I was like, oh my God, it's not going to keep going vertical. And then it consolidated and then it went vertical again. I do think this thing is going to continue higher. If it pulls back to 250.96, it's a buying opportunity. But at the same time, you don't really want it to pull all the way back over there. But if it does, you probably do get bull stepping right around there. Apple. So this is one that I'm just going to say everything kind of looks like, you know, still a little uncertain. That's why I wanted to see SPY get above yesterday's high. I wanted to see, you know, everything not look uncertain. But, you know, you got Apple just kind of hanging on over here on its uptrend. It's not looking the best. You know, break today's low. Well, we're going to say yesterday's low. low. Break yesterday's low, you're probably having a deeper pullback. But again, next week you have earnings on Thursday, on Halloween. So, you know, I personally do think downside is limited, but we are going to just have to see what happens next week on a lot of these things. But, you know, heading into it, Apple is set up to go either way. I'm going to say this chart is definitely more bullish than bearish here. You've kind of consolidated here for a while. You're getting really tight here. You either want to have a big squeeze up or squeeze down. It's one or the other. All right. Microsoft, how are we looking, guys? All right. You're finding your buyers here on the break and retest off of 424.04. I do think you are headed higher. I think you're just going to have to be patient here and wait a little bit. But, you know, at the end of the day, I do think you're going to come back up here. I have it marked out right there, the 0.618 fib. For this whole decline here, I think you're either going to hit it with a double top and then, you know, go something like that. Or I do think you are going to start a larger move up. All right. And, you know, peek your head up over here, pull back, and then there's going to be that. But also, we have earnings also next week. All right. We get Apple on Thursday. We have Microsoft on Wednesday here. And, you know, again, you're just set up so nicely coming into this, but it is in a bullish manner. All right. You can't really look at this. Like, I mean, I guess you could say you also have that potential, you know, head and shoulders look to you. I don't think you're going to have one massive move all the way down here. I could be wrong. All right. We've seen, you know, really big moves to the downside over here off earnings. You know, it's not like it can't happen here like that. You know, you get a 5% move down or something like that. But, you know, I personally do think this thing is set up to rip. So that's going to be my bias over here on Microsoft. Goog, guys, again, just literally pay attention to this little short-term downtrend here. If it is broken, you're probably going to start moving up to 170.41 and then 175.91 above there. This move right here probably comes quick. So you could do that, guys. Expect a bunch of tricks down here. You're in consolidation / trap mode or pullback mode, whatever you want to call this thing, all right? It's not one that you want to get involved with up here. You can if you want, but I don't really see a reason to. If it comes down to the bottom of the range, try along here. If it breaks in there, you're probably coming down here. All right. But, you know, until you break this range, you're not going anywhere. So just don't expect much. Break the downtrend, expect upside. Underneath 164.37, we're going to have 161.63 and then 156.51. Meta, guys, we also have earnings next week. All right. So this is also on Wednesday. We have earnings coming in. And, you know, we all knew Meta had this, you know, first initial move up here. We had a big impulsive move up. I think we're about to get the second big impulsive move up here off of earnings. I'm not going to be playing them. You could play them if you would like. But next Wednesday, I do think we're probably going to start, you know, moving back up. Or at least we're going to start moving it back up into that. Maybe, you know, we push up and, you know, find ourselves consolidating in this area, and then it's, you know, pretty good for a move to the downside or a move to the upside, because, you know, you get a decent move to the downside here, you wind up somewhere over here, you probably get bought up, or, you know, you have what I think the chart is set up to do, and you have another 10 to 15% rip.
Sweep sellers.
Right around. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that's on. I'm sorry, guys. No idea. It scared me. Maybe it scared you. All right, let me turn off book maps. There we go. My bad. All right. So now we got Amazon over here, guys. We did break this uptrend. You know, we were talking about how charts were kind of looking vulnerable. Like all the big boys, they were looking, you know, kind of like they can go both ways. They're setting up there. Amazon here, I didn't see much upside to really be playing here, especially with the premiums. You just broke down from that uptrend. You also have earnings next week. This was on Thursday, so the same day as Apple. So far, guys, on Wednesday, we have Microsoft and Meta. And then on Thursday, we have, you know, over here, Amazon and Apple. This is definitely going to be a really exciting week next week. All right. I still believe this chart is set up in a bullish manner. I think you know, can pull back here into earnings. All right. Now you're testing these moving averages here from the downside. All right. They're acting as support here. Well, now they're going to be acting as resistance. That's what we're paying attention to. All right. So support is 184.58. Underneath there, 182.39. Resistance, 187.60. 190.13. All right. So that is that. Chips. SMH, guys, still right underneath the zone. Not really much upside to talk about. Again, you know, we got the big tech earnings. We We do not have chip earnings next week. We have big tech earnings. So, you know, chips, I don't know if they're going to be getting the most movement out of all of the things we discussed, but, you know, there's that. I'd say focus on big tech and Bitcoin right now. That's definitely what, you know, I want to keep your attention on. Bitcoin stocks, I think those are going to be hot. And then big tech next week, there's that. Right now, you're kind of, you know, you're kind of just consolidating here. On the upside, you do have that supply zone. So, you know, I'd say there's not really much to get excited about over here. Lose 245.58. You're going to come down here, probably hit 237. And then from that point, you are going to have the golden pocket right under there at 232. You know, so you're kind of just consolidating here. We call this kind of a bear flag. I think it's more inclined to break down from here than to break up, but you know, again, we will just kind of have to see how this all goes. Doesn't look too bad over here on the weekly time frame. Kind of looks just like AVGO, you know, kind of looks like QQQ. Doesn't look bad. Nvidia. All right, the pullback is a buying opportunity. All you do is speculate. All you do is bitch and moan. Stop being a bitch. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings, you little bitch? Dimitra, I don't want to hear your crap. Okay? You want to complain? Get the fuck out of here. I don't care. There you go. Sorry if I hurt your ears, guys, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm not going to take anybody who's a loser on my channel. You can get off of here, and I will keep doing my thing. All you do is bitch and moan. LLY, please. I got you. You know why? Because you're not bitching and moaning because the other guy's a bitch. All right. So there we go, guys. On the upside, and also, you know, what else is there to do in the stock market than speculate? What do you expect me to do? Right. I'm going to say if we take out certain levels, you're probably more inclined to come down to certain levels. If you take out, you know, resistance, you're more inclined to go to the resistance levels up there. It is technical analysis. There is nothing else on these charts that we possibly can do. So again, I'm going to reiterate what I just said. All you do is bitch and moan. Nobody on this YouTube game over here in this whole, you know, niche we're talking about, no one's going to make your bitch ass happy because that's all there is to do on these charts. There you go. Moving on. All right. On the downside, guys, take out 137.46. I do think you're probably more inclined to come down here and revisit 130. I'm actually just going to adjust that, and we're going to be watching this high road over here. That's where you got all of these reactions, all right? So 131.26, and that's kind of just what I was talking about. Like, you can call it speculation all you want. You break under this daily 9, you're probably coming down here. Yeah, it's speculation, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you got the experience of the market. You know, that's probably about to be how that goes. You find support on it, you lose it, you're coming down to the next, you know, decent area over here. Love you too. I just hate, you know, bitch ass people over here who want to be all, you know, keyboard warriors. I'm 6'4", say it in person. You know, I say it to me in person. No one's gonna say shit. So, you know, like again, all you do is speculate. Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go? You're not here no more. I hope you left. All right, so Nvidia resistance 140.76. Above there, you have nothing till 144.42, and then the 150 psych level above. AMD, you did start breaking down. You hit it with the break and retest today off of the 154.92 level that we were paying attention to over here. You broke and retested off of this low over here at 158.08. Ranged out, broke and retested off of that. And now I'm going to say you're back to looking pretty vulnerable. You have the daily 9 right above. You have this range right above. Expect sellers right here. If you can get above 156.74, you probably are going to test 158.08. And then you have a chance of coming up here to 160.44. On the downside, though, clear as day. Well, I mean, now we have a new level to pay attention to. On the downside, under 150.52, you have 148.01. You know, this 148.01 spot, that is the clear as day obvious spot here that we're going to be paying attention to on the downside. AVGO. What do we got over here, guys? You are now just consolidating right here where you broke out from. Found buyers here once. We do know there's probably orders still sitting down here. All right. It's kind of the bottom of this little range we've had out. Expect buyers down here. If you pull back, you're going to have the support down here at 165.80. And then underneath there, you have one at 160.41. ARM. What do we got, guys? All right, so this is the one we were saying looks the most vulnerable the other day. You know, if you can break under that low right there, you probably were going to start breaking an uptrend and then come straight down to 141.44. what happened? You came down here. You are still finding buyers down here for the second time in a row. You now bounce off of the 0.786 fib. But I am still going to say it looks weak. And if you do bounce up here, I would not be surprised to see something like that. All right. And now, you have this little kind of action right there. All right. Maybe you get a little dead cat bounce. Got the moving averages right here. Got the 147 level where you broke down from. Wouldn't be all that bad to, see dead cat bounce into this area and then see sellers step in to break that new uptrend there and then come down to 132.80. Guess speculation. Again, I'm going to say, what else do you want me to go over? All right, idiots going to be idiots. I really don't know what to tell people. Like, this is literally all there is to do on these charts. And there's nothing else anybody ever does on these charts other than exactly what we're doing. I don't understand why people open their mouth when they don't know what they're talking about. But then again, people just don't know that they don't know what they're talking about. So I also understand that. So I can't be too mad. All right, MU guys, you are just kind of consolidating here in between the daily 21 EMA and the daily 9. But, as I said, you broke underneath that uptrend. We were watching it right over here. This was kind of your make or break spot. You started getting underneath it, and then you came down to the next support. I'm going to say it looked vulnerable. You already broke that uptrend. And, from here, let's look at it this way. You have, take off the magnet real quick. You get a high, maybe low. Well, if you turn back down, this is going to be your lower high here. And now we very much so can probably come in between this 96.18 gap and 98.94 resistance. All right, so that is what I'm going to be watching over here in MU. But, I do think, again, chips are looking vulnerable. This is not, excluded there. It is also looking vulnerable. SMCI, got you, man. SMCI over here, you can already see what I have drawn. You actually had a little 5-minute bull flag. I did not say anything about it because I know anytime I do TA over here in SMCI, anything that looks bullish in these smaller time frames, it usually gets faded. So I just decided not to do anything about this guy. All right, and as you see, it did get faded. Did indeed get faded. You already started breaking down on this one. You could see the decent upper wick here, broken underneath the daily 9, found buyers, found buyers, found buyers. On sellers. All right, so now you're watching this lows from yesterday. If you do end up breaking underneath 44.61, you have nothing until 42.74. Expect buyers down here, but you're probably going to have this move pretty quick. Yeah, honestly, truth be told, I want to head to the gym, and I did not want to make a thumbnail and edit because that adds another like half an hour to my job here. So that is really why we are live over here. And I saw the other day, I got the same exact engagement and like views as the actual video. So I was like, it would probably, the people probably like it better. And, if I want to be lazy today, this is my off day from work. I, was on the charts and trading, pretty much all day. Went for a walk earlier with the pups. But, I want to go to the gym and then see the girlfriend, maybe watch a movie later. And then, enjoy our fun Friday tomorrow, guys. Now, honestly, guys, like, I really do think the action is going to be next week. Like, we have plenty of action to talk about next week. We're going to have volatility guaranteed on the NASDAQ. That is going to be everything. This week is just right before that. So, I wouldn't expect too much tomorrow. I just hope, the charts hold up with how they're looking. Like, Bitcoin looks phenomenal right here. I think, things could fly. Weekly chart over here. What the heck is this thing, right? The thing looks like it wants to fly. You had, a big extension style candlestick after this, consolidation for 2 weeks over here. And now you're getting some more consolidation. But guess what? It's above the flag. It's finally out there. Maybe your pump will pump this by. I hope. I honestly, I don't even care right now. I don't care. I hope crypto stocks fly. That is, kind of what I care about right now. But as far as what everything does in the short term, I could kind of care less. Besides crypto stocks. There we go. All right. So Bitcoin over here, guys, you did hold the 66.5 break and retest we pointed out there. That is right over here at the daily 9. It's not looking bad at all. I do think Bitcoin is going to be coming up to 70K in the short term. All right. So, you know, on Saturday, guys, Bitcoin is kind of the only market that is open that I watch. You know, this is probably going to be continuing higher, I'm guessing, this weekend. So we're going to be paying attention to this guy. But as long as it kind of holds around here for the weekly close, I'm serious. These crypto stocks could fly. So let's talk about them. Coin, guys, hovering above that weekly 21 EMA as well as the 9 EMA. The 9 is really what I care about for that short-term trend. But I'm just saying this thing has a bunch of consolidation here. You're releasing that tension in this chart. You're now pulling back, retesting where you had the tension in the chart. And yeah, you're finding buyers so far. This thing is looking phenomenal. Okay. Found buyers at the daily 9 over here. You did not come back for the 192.45 retest. And from here, guys, we're going to be looking for 225 plus. I do think a Bitcoin is to do something like this. Maybe it takes like 2 weeks here. All right. I mean, I think it could fly whenever the time is right. I think it's just going to fly. That's, you know, truth be told, that's my thought on this. Yeah, coin's coming up here. All right. Coin's going to be up at 270 if Bitcoin goes back up to highs. That's just how that's going to go. MSTR over here, guys, you already, you know, started front running that move. I told you guys, all of these, the Bitcoin stocks, they were trying to front run this pullback. They didn't want to really pull back with Bitcoin. You didn't get too much of a buying opportunity on them. But, you know, at the end of the day, MSTR, it's ripping faces, guys. I do think we are going to be, you know, heading up to 250 psych level in the short term. Try on Adobe. Yeah, I'll check out Adobe right now. Oh my God, the guy is dead. The guy is dead. What is going on? I see a falling wedge, though. I see some sort of pennant. Do my eyes deceive me? Maybe. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I can't be doing this. This is all speculation. Like, what do people think technical analysis is, dude? I'm so confused, dude. It is literally probabilities. It is all speculation. What goes through people's minds? If you want not speculation, come join the Discord and you can just trade it live with me every day. But unless you want to do that, don't bitch and moan. So there's that. Take the free info that you get and be happy, please. But if you're not happy, also let me know. I'll do my best to make you happy. So there you go. All right. Adobe, honestly, this thing don't look too bad. All right. You know, you're kind of, you know, getting tighter as you come in here to the golden pocket. You did sweep these lows already. You know, it's not looking like you're just going to undercut them and pop right back up. You got, you know, some damage on this chart that really has to fix itself. You got to really get above this 500 level. Until you can get above 500, like, look, you got your short-term moving averages right here. You're going to have this downtrend sin right there. You got a key level right there. That's the confluence spot that you, yo, get your bitch ass out of here. I don't even want to see your face. Nah, honestly, you annoy me. I hate when I put work into this stuff and like my time, and you know, there really is just bitch asses out there who are just not appreciative at all. I get absolutely nothing out of it. And you know, at the end of the day, I hate people who are just negative. You make me want to be negative. I don't even want that. Use the internet on this live video. I do use the internet on this live video. That I do. All right. But yeah, Adobe's not looking too bad, guys. It is not looking too bad. But really, guys, the crypto sector, I think this thing is what is going to be really heating up over here. You can see this is starting to accelerate here. MSTR definitely has proven that this was just going to be a buying opportunity. Broken out to new high. 250 cycle level probably incoming. Now, Mara has not gone yet. So this is what I'm saying. I think it's going to be heating up next week. I think we have a solid chance of seeing this nice wide body green bar that stems all the way up here to around 22 bucks. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to over here on Mara. CLSK is another one that I think is looking absolutely phenomenal. Pull back to the daily 9 short-term moving average after, you know, your first impulsive move. I think this is the first of many impulsive moves. By that I mean at least one more. Straight up, you took out this high over here. You're now pulling back. That equals dip is buying opportunity. We're probably going to have another high. You're probably going to run back up here, take out that $13 high, and then you're probably going to be pushing up there. All right, so we'll just mark that high, get above 12.99. You have nothing until 15% higher at 15 bucks. And at that point, I'd find it hard to believe you're not just going to test the 0.618 fib, which is almost another dollar higher. All right. So that is, total from where we are right here. We're talking 30%. Not too shabby. Last thing we are going to pay attention to today or put back on our radar is going to be CELH. You came down, you filled your gap, and you are finding buyers there. Again, what do I got to say about it? I'm sorry. It's just speculation. All right. Oh, it's not. It's just me reviewing what actually already happened on this chart, which is you came down to the gap fill. Sorry, I got to phrase it like that because some people are confused about it. All right. Now I'm just having fun with you. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. Came down, filled the 3053 gap fill. You did find buyers there as expected. That was in your golden pocket. But now you got to get back above this little area. All right. So I'm just kind of going to mark it out with the zone here. Until you really get above here, 33 bucks, you're kind of in the water over here. You get above there, you're gonna have this little, I want to call this like a little fallen wedge action right here. All right, something like that's not so bad looking. All right, look at that little fallen wedge right there. All right, so really get above this cluster area and which I'm just gonna say 33 bucks. Get above 33 bucks. You're probably gonna start running back up. All right, so that's what I'm watching over here on CELH. I am just going to say this thing is just taking its time. It hasn't really heated up here. You do want to take out this high at 35.99. Once that happens, you probably are going to start moving up here. So that is what I have for you guys today. Yeah, honestly, dude, Mara, I think it's time. I think it is time over there. Mara and CLSK have done nothing for weeks now. They've just kind of been consolidating here and basing out. I think it's time we're about to see the breakouts from these bases, all right? You kind of already saw it start over here on CLSK. But, Mara specifically is looking pretty juicy. We did have that inverse head and shoulders pattern right over here, and you're kind of consolidating right at the neckline. So I do have to assume buyers are they're trying to push it up. I think next week is our week, guys. There you go. All right, guys. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed our live stream. I hope you guys had a lovely day, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Hope you guys killed it today, and